Travel with me to the 16th century, a time when the seas still held their secrets, when the New World was just beginning to reveal itself. But, among the oceans, the wind, and the stars, a mysterious map emerges. A map that not only baffled sailors but has puzzled historians for centuries. This is the map of Piri Reis, a nautical chart that, inexplicably, shows lands that shouldn't be there, and what's even more surprising, it does so with a precision that defies the technology and knowledge of its time. This map, which depicts parts of South America and, brace yourself, the coast of Antarctica without ice. It not only shook the foundations of cartographic knowledge but also opened an abyss of questions that remain unanswered to this day. This is the enigma of Piri Reis. Who was Piri Reis? And how could an Ottoman admiral in the 16th century create one of the most controversial maps in history? Piri Reis wasn't just any cartographer. Born in the Ottoman Empire in the late 15th century, he was a man of action, a naval commander, and a scholar who sailed the seas with a clear purpose, to dominate the oceans and, in turn, understand them. But beyond his military victories, his true legacy lies in his cartographic work. In 1513, he compiled what we now know as the Piri Reis map. What's remarkable here is that it's not just a maritime chart, but an engineering feat of cartography that compiles a stunning amount of information for its time. The fragment that has survived shows the coasts of South America and Antarctica, yes, Antarctica, that vast frozen landmass to the south of the planet, which, as far as we know, wasn't discovered until 1820. Now, this is where it gets fascinating. When we look at the Piri Reis map, the most striking feature isn't just the coastline of South America, which is depicted with great detail, but something that seems incredible, the presence of what appears to be the northern coast of Antarctica, and without ice. For many scholars, this simply doesn't make sense. We know that Antarctica has been covered in ice for millions of years and that only in modern times have we been able to see what lies beneath that vast ice sheet. So how is it possible that a 16th century map shows this coastline with such precision? Could it be that ancient civilizations already knew about these lands and mapped them before they were covered in ice? According to Piri Reis himself, his map is not completely original. He mentions in his notes that he used as references maps that were much older, some over 1,000 years old. But what were these maps? And which civilization did they come from? Some scholars suggest that the ancient Greeks, Phoenicians, or even the Egyptians could have been responsible for these original maps. And this is where an even more intriguing theory emerges. Could these ancient peoples have possessed geographical knowledge that has since been lost? And if so, how did they acquire it? But Piri Reis also mentions something else. Among his sources, he references a map belonging to none other than Christopher Columbus. According to some accounts, Columbus might have had access to far more advanced knowledge than we've been told. A map that may have been the basis for the expeditions to the New World. What if his journey to America wasn't just a gamble, but a mission with more detailed knowledge than history records? The Piri Reis map has been the subject of speculation for centuries. This is where we enter the territory of the most controversial theories. Some theories suggest that it is evidence of an advanced civilization that existed long before recorded history. A civilization with geographical knowledge that has since been lost, perhaps due to natural disasters or the collapse of civilizations. One of the most compelling theories is that of a prehistoric advanced civilization, a society that might have existed in Antarctica before it was covered in ice. Could this civilization have been the one that mapped the continent before it disappeared? Of course, not everyone agrees with these theories. Or perhaps these maps were passed down by explorers like the Phoenicians, who sailed the seas long before the Europeans. Skeptics argue that the Piri Reis map doesn't actually show Antarctica, but rather a distorted representation of the South American coastline, something common in ancient cartography. However, Some scientists point out that the accuracy with which the South American coast is depicted can't simply be a coincidence. To this day, the Piri Reis map remains a puzzle, especially since the proportions and details are surprisingly precise. Even though modern science has advanced, we still can't fully explain how this map could have been created with such precision over 500 years ago. Is it evidence of lost ancient knowledge? Or just an extraordinary historical curiosity? But the most intriguing part is that the Piri Reis map isn't the only ancient map that presents these mysteries. There are other maps that suggest a broader knowledge of the world than conventional history admits. The enigma of Piri Reis is only the beginning. As we continue to search for answers, we are left with even more questions. What else is out there that we have yet to discover? And the big question is, are we ready to discover the truth, or do we prefer that some mysteries remain hidden? What do you think? Is the Piri Reis map evidence of lost ancient knowledge or just a historical curiosity? Let us know your theories in the comments and share this video with friends who love history's mysteries. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. See you on the next historical adventure.